In this video, we'll see the importance of serialization. Now, what is serialization here is, let's say I have a class. So let's say my class name is, let's say, cricket. Okay, and in this cricket class, I have two variables. One is, let's say, the int variable called as runs, and we have one more int variable, or we'll say a string variable, and this string variable will be, let's say, batsman. Okay, so now we have these two variable, one is runs and a string which is a batsman. Now, what I will do is, let me create a object of this class which is cricket, and say, let's say C equal to new cricket. Now let's assign some values. So for in this match, I have a batsman whose run is, let's say, 50 runs, and the name of the batsman will say C dot batsman, and the batsman is Rahul Dravid. So we'll use Rahul here. Now, so once you define a run and a batsman name, now so this C here represent a batsman which is Rahul, and the score is 50, right? But let's say after some time, I just close this application. That means the data is gone, right? It's because we are not storing this data in a permanent storage. Then you will say, okay, then we can use something called as file handling to store this data into a file. But the problem is, in case of file handling, when you know that you're working with only data, or you only have one application which is trying to store that data, we can simply use a concept called as serialization. Now, serialization just store the state of an object. Now, this state means the data of the object. Now, how to achieve serialization? Now, for that, what we can do is, since I want to store this data, I want to store this file or this data in some file. First, we need a file object. So we'll say file f equal to new file, and in this I need to provide a file name. And this time we'll say the file name is serial.txt, or you can have any file name here. Let's import the package using Control Shift O. Now, what next? To store the data in a file, we have to use file output stream. So I hope you're familiar with file handling that we have done in the previous tutorial. So we'll create object of file output stream as FOS equal to new file output stream, and in this we'll pass the object of f, which is file. Let's import the package. Done. And the problem here is, there's a chance that this file will not allow you to store data into that this serial, right? So in that case, it will throw an error. So we have to say throws exception. So we have this throws exception. Now next, we need to create object of, so to store data into that file, we have used file output stream. But to store data into that file output stream, or to store that object, instead of using data output stream, we need to use object output stream. So it's not this time a data output stream, we have to use object output stream, which also belongs to a package which is java.io. So we'll name this as OOS equal to new object output stream, and in this we can pass the object of file output stream. Now what next? Now, in order to save the data into the file, we can simply say OOS dot write object. So we can use a method called as write object, because this time we need to write the data. So we can use a method called as write object, in which you can pass the object you want to store. And the object I want to store here is C. So save. Now if you run this code, the data will be stored in this file called as serial. But is it? Will it work? So we have done all the required steps, right? We have created the file, we have created the file output stream object, we have created the object output stream object, and we have said save. But do we have a permission? It's because whenever you want to store the state of an object, it might be risky, it might be crucial. For that, Java doesn't allow you to store that object directly into the file. Then question arises, how to give the permission, and that we'll see in the next part.